Hello, good evening, and how are you again? I decided I would do a part 6, but this is just the conclusion, because it basically fits in to everything I said before, and it'll give me plenty of time to talk. Conclusion to Shadow of the Swastika, the Hemp Conspiracy. If before you finish reading this publication you ever wondered why the U.S. federal government refuses to consider the medical and industrial value of cannabis hemp, despite widespread and growing support from the public, medical experts, industry leaders, and a growing number of state legislators across the nation, you now have the answer. For the past several generations, Americans have been systematically deceived about the true nature of cannabis, hemp. Many Americans have died, victims of political murders. Millions have been in prison, their children and their property taken away through forfeiture, their futures destroyed. The history of my own state, Kentucky, and others as well, have been sanitized, rewritten our heritage, deleted our citizens, defrauded and impoverished to bury the truth. And if before you finish reading this publication you ever wondered why the U.S. federal government would train and finance Central American death squads, or why, while waging the so-called war on drugs, the U.S. federal government would operate cocaine, heroin smuggling operations around the world, bringing in tons of drugs in places like Mena, Arkansas, or why the U.S. federal government would spread democracy throughout the world by assassinating democratically elected politicians, both at home and abroad, replacing them with right-wing dictators and training their secret police in the latest techniques of torture, terrorism, and mind control, or why the U.S. federal government would conduct deadly medical and radiation experiments on unsuspecting citizens, including pregnant women and mentally impaired and children, you now have the answer. The last question is, what are we going to do about it? No, I tell you what. The only thing we can do about it is to vote everyone out. Kick them all out. Kick all the congressmen and senators that have ever voted for any of this crap, for the war and for all that's happened in the last 50 years, out of there, and put all new people in there. And I guarantee, once we get a new batch in there, it'll be a few years before they get taken over by the special interest groups, the lobbyists, who will come in and try to brainwash them into and pay them off, as they've done with all the people we've kept in there for years. That's the problem. We've kept the same senators, the same congressmen in there over and over again, and you wonder why nothing changes. Because they're still paid off by the same lobbyists. And these people are not going to change until you remove them out of the government and put fresh blood in there. We got to get rid of all these scoundrels, these carpetbaggers, these evil people that are now working for the enemies of our country. They do not even go by their constitutional rights. They took the oath, but like Skull and Bones, their oath to Skull and Bones supersedes any other oath. If you don't believe it, do your research on Skull and Bones. You'll find they take an oath that supersedes everything. Cheney, Bush, and the rest of them have all superseded their oath to the Constitution, because that doesn't matter with the oath for Skull and Bones. Once they've taken that, no oath, they are not attached to any other oath. We say believe until they're taken out and tried for it as treason. But until then, until we can get them prosecuted, we're going to have a fight till the end until we can stop this. They're almost done with their police state setup. It's only a matter of time now until they finally put the final pieces in, and you start seeing the troops on the street with full like machine guns, like up in New York. I just heard this a few days ago, and they got them with fully automatic weapons. Does that sound like America to you? Police force with military weapons walking the streets, and tasers given to them as if tasers is okay. Tasers are not okay. Tasers is a torture and a deadly weapon. It's killed thousands of people so far, and we're just letting that go too. Until we stop this and stop them from doing what they're doing, their Gestapoism, we're going to run into this over and over again. When they pull us over for testing us for alcohol and stuff, they just did a test over in Pomona, California. They caught 2 people out of, I think it was around 2,000 people that went through the checkpoint. Was it worth your time to be stopped, your family's time to be harassed, your car searched, and everything else? Indiana, coming up this Memorial Day weekend, guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be taking blood, if you want it or not. They were taking mandatory blood from you from the checkpoint. So if you pull up that checkpoint and you refuse, they'll just arrest you, and maybe worse, taser you until you submit. Now, this is not America I was grown up in. This is not the constitutional government I remember being taught in school. And I was taught back in the 60s about this, in the 70s. It's no more. We're not in that anymore. Kids are not taught the Constitution anymore. Shoot, we don't even have Paul Revere's celebration of his ride that was on, what is it, May the 16th. Or was it May the 16th or 18th of April? That's the 16th. See, I'm not even sure, because I wasn't taught about the Paul Revere ride being a celebration or part of a holiday type celebration. Almost like, the Independence Day and President's Day and the rest of them. I'm sitting back here now and I'm just going, this is wrong. We're living in a wrong place. If we don't change it, it's just going to get worse. And the next thing they're going to be doing is rounding us up and taking you to the happy FEMA camps to get your shots, and they'll put you in a corner and you'll die. And they'll just bury you in mass graves and say it was the flu. The bird flu got you. Yeah, that's what it is. The bird flu. It's like 9/11. Jet fuel. Yeah, that's a good one. Jet fuel brought the buildings down. You ever seen these comics or these little illustration? That's exactly how they thought about it. That's a good one. Jet fuel. Brought the 2 towers down, and the building 7 that wasn't hit by nothing fell exactly the same way, demolition style. Yeah, right. So if you guys want to keep it going, I mean, we gotta stop them. It's the oil companies running everything. You've heard part of it in my earlier speeches. I haven't read the entire thing, but it just goes on and on and on. It even talks about Herbert Walker Bush and his financing the Nazis, which is, George W. Bush's dad's dad. And so, when you guys think about it, you can't put these other people in there either. The only person that's worth being in there right now is Ron Paul. Anyone else is controlled. They're puppet mastered. I mean, they all want the war. They're all going to do it. I mean, Hillary says, I'll go over there and nuke them. They go over there and nuke them. It's a police state automatically. Your rights are gone. You're enslaved forever. And like I said, it would be it's just the corporations and us. There will be no middle class. The rich and the poor. Well, until the next speech I give or the next reading of an article that interests me, I tell you now, be good at it, fight the New World Order with tooth and nail until we win. Because if we do not win, slavery and feudalism is the next step. We're that close to feudalism. So remember to read this article and understand what the history is, because they don't teach you this in school, and you'll never know about it except people like me who will come on YouTube or Google videos and tell you this and show you where to get the documentation. Until next time, please step up, vote for Ron Paul, don't vote for the Three Stooges, don't vote for Mo Obama, don't vote for Curly McCain, and don't vote for Larry Clinton. They're all just stooges. They're all controlled. They're all being puppet mastered. They all each have their puppet masters. I have an article on here that talks about that too, who their puppet masters are. Read, understand, and then vote Ron Paul. Save this country today or be enslaved tomorrow. It's your choice. Feudalism or freedom. It's your choice. The forefathers warned us. Be good or be good at it.